I feel like, because for me, I'm not really religious, as obviously I said before as well.
Yeah.
But I kind of envy you guys sometimes because you never really feel truly alone. Like you always feel like there's someone there to support you. And in some way or another, that kind of offers a separate support system in terms of like going to church or just praying when you need to or reading the Bible, which is something that I can't necessarily relate to. Like,
Mm.
how has that been for you, like going through uni as a Christian, or I mean, I know obviously I know that church has been quite good for you. You've had like people going to church frequently, like E5 and that, but
Yeah.
how has that transition been from, going with family to obviously going by your own for a bit and then me and other Christians at uni?
Man, that has been a journey the past 4 years. All right. So, context: secondary school, faith wasn't really discussed. If you discussed faith, you were discussing Judaism because 90% of the students, okay, 70% of the students in my secondary school were Jewish, and
Mad.
and the only way we knew that is because when the Jewish holiday was happening, most of the guys weren't around. So then literally, it's like literally faith was not discussed, and then I've been obviously Christian from birth, Christian household, everything. And there have been certain aspects to my faith that um I guess have always tried to hold tightly to, like to the point where it's not really relevant, but like I was like in a Christian primary school, and then secondary school onwards, which was not Christian at all. So like I went from my faith being my school to then almost no one around me openly discussing their faith in any way, shape, or form. And if they discussed their faith, it wasn't mine. So, like,
Mm.
throughout secondary school, there was definitely that kind of, I don't want to say isolation, but isolation in terms of faith. Like, faith was at home and school was school. And so when it was now like time to pick in churches and things like that, like as in when I was still in secondary school, I kind of just went with obviously family goes this church, cool. Family also goes this church, cool. Pick between the two based on my current situations. I won't go into that all that kind of stuff deeply, but that was it. It was at home. And then I go to secondary school. Sorry, then I go to university, meet some people from ACS, and literally, I remember somebody must have just been like, "Oh yeah, you're going to church on Sunday," and obviously that's like a special. Yeah, I am going to church on Sunday. But imagine going from almost never talking about your faith to somebody you're friend with just asking you going to church on Sunday. I was like, wait, hold on. Like in my head, it was like, oh wait, hold on. Faith is an openly discussed thing here. Like I could just be calm. That's lit. And so like it then enabled my faith to change in a way that was like, this is now, and I almost regret the fact that it took coming to university for that to be the case, but it almost allowed it to become to the point where this is now, open 24/7. Not that it wasn't before, but now it's like overt anytime I want it or need it to be overt. But there was still definitely that level of infancy in my faith that came from the fact that obviously faith was just an at-home thing, and like I didn't understand certain aspects of my faith at all. So now coming to university, and there were people that left, right, and center. They were strong in Christianity, strong in their faith, strong in their faith.
Mm.
It was. I think for some people, and for me somewhat, it was intimidating. But then in another way, it was almost aspirational. Like, oh my gosh, like God that I've known, but it's almost just been, God has given me rules and I have to just obey the rules and that's it. These people that I see around me have such a deep, emotional connection with God, and discuss it so openly. Like I want to reach that stage, I want to reach that stage, I want to reach that stage. But then obviously still first year, second year, university, I knew like, oh, university boy, like it wasn't. I wasn't behaving that way, the way that I should have been. Although certain areas I was trying to, I just wasn't. Um, so then like that, but that was kind of like a journey of okay, cool. Like literally, I'll go to church. Everybody will be there, dinner thing, and I in Bristol have been going to or have gone to a church that was like very, when it's time to sing, everybody hands up, praising God, praising God. That's you and God time. And me, I was looking around like, I don't want no one to see me. I don't want nobody to see me with my hand raised, please. Like I was very, I was still, I was at a level of infancy that I did not realize I was at, and I had like a level of caring so much about other people and not just caring about me and God that I didn't realize I had. So then now comes year abroad time, and like I said, year abroad was really a time for me to just like not care about anybody else around me, just be me and be me basically. That was really a time where my faith grew, and it grew because coming to university allowed me to reach the point where my faith was an open discussion field. But then going on the year abroad allowed me to be like, okay, cool. Now that my faith is so open, so real, so prevalent, I know that God is the be all and end all for me. How then do I respond to that from a personal perspective when no one is around? And again, like I said, I made mistakes on that part as well. But I ended the year being in a much stronger place in my faith, especially because I was on my own in the year abroad. Like that was really cool. I want my ones. I believe God brought me here. Please, Lord, tell me what you want. Like, so I think that was really a time where my faith, like that was the turning point, I think, for me and my faith, where it was like this is a faith where I will openly express it, but now this is my personal journey and walk. This isn't just religion for me. This is faith walk journey for me. And then now coming back to Bristol in fourth year, I almost kind of transitioned to the other side of the coin, where previously it was like, I was one of the guys where, my faith is real. I know God is real, but I'm not going to be open about it because it's not cool. To now be on the other side of, look, you people ain't cool. You people don't even know what you're missing. God's been here for me. I don't care who knows it. I'm going to bring God into any conversation if it comes naturally, because that's my truth, and it is what it is. Like, the confidence, I think, shifted, and it was because my relationship with God shifted as well. And I've been paraphrasing heavily, but there have been times that I've gone through, not only in university, but even prior to university, that I wouldn't, like, you would hear them and you'd be like, wait, what? That, like, completely firm faith for me as a whole. That was like, yeah, there's no way God does not exist in this X, Y, and Z situation. So now, like, fourth year, I became a lot more confident in that, I think. And then in terms of, like, the things I would do, the conversations I would have with people, the way I would conduct myself, it was another aspect of just not caring what other people think about me, because ultimately I know what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and I know, whose approval I care about, and it's not the small people around me that don't decide anything in my life. So I think that was like a huge transition for me between second year, third year, fourth year, and like the year abroad is always the catalyst in all these conversations. But I think that was how my faith shifted. And then coming to fourth year, it was lit because I was strong in my faith, entered Bristol strong in my faith, and then I was seeing other people like get stronger in their faith. While I was sitting doing my own thing, everybody else was sitting there doing their thing and getting strong in their faith as well. And then in fourth year as well, because I was strong in my faith and I came back, obviously being more me, having like realized who my friends were and who my friends weren't. The people I started hanging out with in fourth year were not the people I was hanging out with in second year or first year. And that's not because there was anything wrong with those guys in second year, first year, but there was something wrong with me and the way I was conducting myself around them. And so now being in fourth year, like with my faith strong and everything, the people that were around me that I chose to hang around with, for the most part, were people that I met through church or through youth group, or through student group, or through another Christian friend that this, that, and the other. Like there are four guys right now that I like, literally, I call these guys my brothers, and these four guys, and we do like this weekly thing where we just check up on each other from a faith perspective and a personal perspective and just discuss our issues. And the way these guys have been there for me this year, it's been different. But
Mad.
it's like the reason why those friendships were able to develop and were able to get stronger was because that aspect of my faith like became so much stronger and was able to grow that now my how can I say, my reason for being and my reason for interacting with different people shifted in a much more positive aspect. And I was able then to realize that just constantly, man. So I think that was it for me. Like, university made faith more real, but then there was still that personal journey I had to go on to reach the point where I'm like, ha, I don't care what anyone thinks about me. I don't care what anyone thinks. This tin is true. And yo, yeah, calm. Like, so now, like, obviously after all these years, when I look at strength from within started off, I can't lie, strength from within started off being a very, very personal, me kind of thing. But now strength from within, when I look at it, I think this is a way in which I want to serve God, and I'd like to choose to serve God in this. Like, when I look at my friends around me, for the most part, my friends around me are like people, obviously, like I said, that have that commonality of cool. Our lives, our day by days are very much in a biblical worldview kind of perspective. And yeah, man, I think it's just shifted a lot in terms of my the way I conduct myself on a day-to-day perspective, which has been great. It's been a great journey in university, but it came through a number of challenges and experiences, some of which I'm not happy that I went through, and I did, but you learn from your mistakes.
For sure. That's nuts, I guess. I didn't really realize how much of I suppose, a journey of self it was, as opposed to purely like, I read this chapter and I learned this. It's like a lot of it is, a lot of it is to do with scripture and of course your relationship with God as well. But I didn't really appreciate how much of it is all down to you as well and your own journey and how you discover these elements of your faith within yourself that you didn't even know you had before. So it's weird to hit like, and we talk all the time, but I didn't really appreciate how long the journey was and how many different phases of like your faith you went through.
Guys, phases from, there were different phases in secondary school, different phases before secondary school, different phases even till today. Me now and me a few months ago are very different, like different phases. This is like the thing with, especially with I think, like, how can I phrase this correctly? Especially with Christianity, and I think maybe one or two other religions as well, but especially Christianity, I think the thing that separates Christianity is Christianity is not a set of rules and that's it. Christianity is a huge journey, and that journey is a journey based on a relationship of love. Not only love between you and your, family, brothers and sisters in Christ, all that, but a journey between you and your Father, basically. Like that just means that, I don't want to say like you make mistakes, but you're not out because you made mistakes, and it's just like, I don't know. It's just it's a great journey and it's a growth period. And I think also with Christianity, like I said, it's not about a set of rules, but the thing that for me has been so mad almost in my faith journey is, like, obviously there are certain things with Christianity that are cool to do and you just should not do. But not all the time, but a lot of the time when I've looked at the things that I've done and been like, cool, cut that out. Obviously, a huge part of it is a genuine reverence and fear of God, but a lot of the time in the past year, it's also been like, oh, nah, I love God. It's done so much for me. Like, he wants me to give up this. Get out of here, this aspect of my life. Like, this aspect of my life, get out of here. Like, this aspect isn't needed. That's not needed. That's cool. You want me to give up that? Because that's gone. That's gone. Like, it's a lot more of like a, you do these things from your heart as opposed to you do these things because they're written down and you have to do them. Like, I think that's been one thing that I've discovered over time about Christianity that has definitely, like, separated it as a religion for me, I think. As well. And
that's a crazy realization. Like, I've always low-key seen, I think this is the main reason why I haven't read into scripture as much as I think I should have. But it's like, I always see some elements of or of most faiths, to be fair, as some form of, I want to say not blackmail, but it's almost like, oh, you either do this or eternal suffering. And I've always seen it as like it's not really a choice here. But then the way you explain it just then is kind of like you're doing it out of love as opposed to
And
not
do you know
wanting
what?
to
Do you know
suffer
what I
forever.
think?
So
And do you know what I think? A lot of people, like in faith, like older people, I don't want to say they fail, but there's definitely like a shortcoming in the way faith is taught. Like,
old.
if you were taught from young that, and I don't know if that's like a generational thing or a way people have experienced and have understood their faith, or like, and there's one aspect of Christianity that is like, or not even Christianity, faith in like different faiths in general, where like people will just say blanket statements like, "Oh, God loves you," or something like that, and they will just expect you to just completely dip what they've just said into your heart, and then that's it. But I think because, especially on the you do these things or eternal suffering type thing, people don't discuss their journeys and their love relationships in their faith, like the way that they like enough, basically, and with enough like vulnerability. Because I feel like if people did that more, if I'd known from, okay, I can't lie, I needed to go through the journey I went through, but a part of me thinks if I had known this, and this from day one, that like, bruh, God loves me, this, like, bruh, I might have been a bit different from today. Like, I might have done things a bit differently, but man, I feel like, yeah, man, it's just a flaw that not of faith, but of people that claim to be in a faith, that they don't like separate the discipline perspective from the like love perspective. Yeah, man. I don't know. I feel like that's something that like people as a whole just have to make sure that we look at moving forward, I guess. Like that's definitely something I'm trying to take away on my faith journey. Just that aspect of, look, if you're telling somebody about truth or whatever, or telling somebody, oh, like this aspect, that aspect, whatever, always try, like when possible, try and come at it from a love perspective and not a you must die perspective. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's not so black or white. It's very nuanced, and I feel like the experience kind of reveals that. But yeah, man.
Yeah, because like for me growing up, I remember I missed church once. I must have been like 12 years old or something. And Mum's like, "All right, you're going to hell then." I'm like, "What?" Like, what? I don't agree with that.
Oh man, that's the thing with kids though as well. Like, because with kids, you have to tell your kids, if you what's one, like, you tell a baby, if you suck your thumb, worms will grow in your stomach. Tell them if you what's another one? If you there's better.
I was also like, if you make that face, it will stay like that or something.
It will stay like that. If you frown, your face will have a frown forever. Like these kind of small things. And obviously with faith, there's a truth element inside those kind of things, but it's never so because you did this, that's it. Like there's so much.
It's a journey, man.
And do you know what I mean? There's so much journey. There's so much else you need to know around that's like. But yeah, man, I feel like that's the thing with kids. You have to just tell the kids punishment, because the question is then, at what level do you fully start to comprehend? Are you fully able to comprehend the experience aspect of it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Journey.
Yeah, man, that's a whole different podcast, man. That's